Hi, welcome back to the shed for episode 34 of Great Guitar Build Off 2023, and this time we're going to get around to actually fitting those cavity covers with the magnets as discussed last time. In the last episode we worked on this heel area and this cutout area on the horn, and we've got most of that done. I think I could still do with scooping a bit of that material out just to make that slightly less bulbous and a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but in terms of functionality it's pretty much where we need it to be. I created the access that I didn't have. I've solved the problem. It just doesn't look particularly pretty at the moment, but we can fix that up when we come to the kind of finished sanding stage. But I'm really keen to get this moving along and get it much closer to being finished. And the last fiddly little job that we need to do is to actually get these two cover plates properly installed. They're pretty much fitted up. There may be a tiny little bit of adjustment needed, but I'm relatively happy with them. So realistically what I need to do is figure out how we're going to attach them. And I said in the last episode that for once, for a change, I'm going to use some of these tiny little magnets. Now these are little 3mm rare earth magnets, and they are incredibly strong for their size. And I think if I've got maybe, I think on this big one, maybe 6 or 8, that should be more than enough to hold it in place. On this one, I think probably 4, 1 in each corner will do it. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in this episode. And I think realistically, it's just about finding a way of spacing these correctly around the perimeter of the cover, and then making holes in the appropriate places on this little lip that we can glue a magnet into. And I think my best way of doing it is really, it's just a quick bit of measuring. And this lip is about 6mm. So I think if I set my marking gauge to 3mm and just run a quick pass all the way around this. And I'll just put a bit of pencil in there. Now this cover is still a little bit on the thick side, so I think once I've drilled the holes for these magnets, I can give it a bit of a sand and take out this gauge line and the pencil. Now what I don't think I want to do is to actually put these right in the corner. Because of that radius, that will make it very close to the edge, so you risk bursting out from there. So what I think instead is I'll just take this little adjustable square and I'm going to bring them inside a little bit. So I'll just mark that off on each corner. So they're nice and equally spaced. And then I will just, that's 161mm, so that's 80.5. And we'll just put a little awl mark in there. Now before I drill those out, I'm actually going to extend all of those lines and then transfer them across to the front. That way I've then got the measurements for the body as well. like that. So next up, we need to get those drilled. And this is going to be quite a delicate little drilling operation because these magnets aren't that big. I can just attempt to get one off without it flipping back. Now these are 3mm in diameter and they're 1.5mm thick. So really don't need to be drilling massive holes. And this cover is about 5mm thick. So we've got plenty of thickness, but we do just need to be a little bit careful with our drilling operations here. So I think this is a job for the drill press and one of my lovely Famag drill bits. So I'll go and get that set up. I think I'm going to set the depth stop up so we're not drilling in too far, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so there's the 6 magnets fitted into the back of this little cover. That actually went really well. The 3mm Famag drill bit is an absolutely perfect fit for these, so they fitted in really nicely. Just a little drop of super glue to hold them in place, but I'm pretty sure they would have been fine without it. So I've marked up the positions on the inside of the cavity, and it's just basically a question of repeating the process, but this time just using a hand drill to put a little hole in there. I'm not sure these have to be kind of perfect alignment. I'm pretty sure as long as they're kind of within a ballpark area, the magnets will do their job. What I do have to be careful of though is not being too shallow with these, because obviously if the magnets are sticking out, that's going to affect the fit of the cover plate, and I'd rather keep it as thick as I possibly can, just to give it that little bit of more rigidity. Now what I'm going to do as well is just make sure that I'm putting them in the right way up. So if I put them in that way, the magnet would actually be repelling. So I need to put them in that way. Okay, and that's all 6 magnets in the other half as well. I actually put double magnets in some of those because the holes were a little bit deeper, so they allowed for that. And I can't see how that's going to hurt. So we'll just try that. And that fits in beautifully. And it definitely doesn't come out. Now it is still a little bit thick, so I can kind of get my fingernail into it, but that is very well stuck in place, so I can't see any problem with that not coming out. So I need to do the same with this small one. I'm going to do exactly the same procedure, but I'm only going to put 4 magnets, 1 in each corner on this one. That should be more than enough. So get that done and I'll join you back in a few minutes. Okay, so that's the other cover done, and that fits really nicely as well. So very happy with that. I've had a go and I can't pull it off. So the magnets are doing their job. However, I need to find a way of getting these back out again. As it stands, they're a little bit proud, so they need a little bit of flushing off. So at the moment, I can just get a fingernail in there and lift them out. I don't think that's going to be the case. Once I've actually got them flushed down, there'll be a lot less for me to grip there. So I need some way of getting them back out again. Now, what I have seen people do in the past is they put a little chamfer either in the lip that these sit against or on the back of the cover itself. so that you can actually push down in that little area and pop it off. Now, as it stands, I haven't really left myself a huge amount of room to do that, but I am actually going to try that just on this one here, and I'm just going to take it to the disc sander and kind of sand off that edge just a little bit, not a huge amount, but hopefully that will give me enough just to put a bit of pressure on it and pop it up enough to pull it out. So we'll try it with this one, and then on the other one, I think I could probably do it on this edge as well. I might not have left myself enough material. If that's the case, we're going to have to think of something else, but we'll give it a bash anyway. Okay, give that a bash, and no, nothing. There's not enough movement there to actually pop that out. However, all is not lost. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a recess in the back of here. Now that I've got it thinned down a bit, it won't be that hard to do either. And I think all I'm going to do is just take a gouge and make a little bit of a circular, semicircular recess in there and thin that down enough so that I can just get kind of a fingernail underneath it to pop it off. Should be fairly straightforward to do. Okay, and that was a very quick job, and I can very easily get a fingernail in there, and I haven't got long fingernails, so that does work. However, even if I had very short fingernails and that wasn't working for me, if I've got a guitar, I will always have a pick, so that works just as well. So we'll just pop the other one off and do exactly the same trick on that as well. Okay, and there we have the two cover plates properly fitted. They do need a little bit of kind of cleaning up. There's a little bit of a step on this one, probably about 0.5 millimeter or so. So I'll just kind of sand that flush. Shouldn't take too much. This one's pretty good. It's a little bit high in this corner. So again, tiny little bit of sanding required. But the main thing is they're not going anywhere. They're staying in. So they're not going to fall out of their own volition. However, if we want them out, it's a very simple case of just sticking a fingernail under there and they will lift out. So very happy with the way that that's gone. So a couple of more jobs out of the way. We're running out of jobs now to do before we're ready for the finishing. However, there are still a few that need to be done. I need to put the output jack in, get the hole drilled for that, and get that fitted up. I still want to do something with this heel transition. I'm still not happy with it. So I'm going to go away and have a think about what I might like to do there. I might do a little bit of research on the internet and just see kind of what other people might have done in a similar situation. But from there, we're into quite a lot of sanding, a few little jobs that need tidying up and finishing off just to get everything absolutely perfectly ready for finish. But all that's going to be for at least the next episode. So until then, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.